Another hurt on the way to fight a fire, and tonight, someone's charged with setting that fire, someone you might never suspect. Your news starts now.
KMBC TV, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News Weekend Edition. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening. Disturbing new developments tonight following the death of an area firefighter.
He was killed on his way to help put out a fire yesterday morning, a fire that investigators now say was intentionally set by one of his fellow firefighters. Tonight, 26-year-old volunteer.
Unloading it in the rain, crews will wait and do the job tomorrow, which could force that part of the Grandview Triangle to shut down again. Down power lines kept people in one part of Kansas City in the dark this morning. A car accident may have knocked down power lines at 71 Highway in Blue Ridge. Officers had to direct traffic while the lines were repaired. A KCP&L spokesperson says power was restored to nearly 1,200 customers around noon.
Well, coming up, find out how a night of watching television turned dangerous for one man.
And the standoff involving 5 children in Idaho is finally over. Now authorities are deciding what to do with the children.
A religious community tries not to lose hope for 2 kidnapped Kansans stuck in the Philippines. I'm Emily Ower. Their story is coming up.
From KMBC 9 News, Kansas City's news leader, Maria Antonia, Jeremy Hubbard, meteorologist Pete Grigsby, and sports with Dave Stewart. You're watching KMBC 9 News Weekend Edition. Coverage you can count on. Closed captioning is brought to you by the Headache and Pain Center.
Last night, most of the damage was to a retail area. The storm turned cars over and also damaged some homes. There are reports of at least 4 serious injuries in that community.
And Pete, you're all too familiar with that area, right?
Too close to home. That's where I'm from, eastern Kentucky.
You recognize that scene?
No, not exactly, but I've been through London many times.
Yeah.
Small town, but you don't get tornadoes too often in eastern Kentucky. So it shows you it can happen anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
So we have to be prepared for something like that. Some of the highs today, though, with the rainfall and the cloud cover, it kept us from getting into the normal 70s like we have been. So that's why we kept it at 67 for Park University, and Indian Springs at 65. And the winds from an east-northeast direction, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Currently, we're down to 58 for Indian Springs, and temperatures will continue to drop slightly, maybe by a couple of more degrees and because of rainfall, and that's really about it. 58 is downtown. As you look at City View camera, and we don't have any rain downtown, but the air is fully saturated, so that's why the relative humidity is at 100%, and the winds are very light. Now, 10.9 Doppler radar was very quiet all afternoon, early evening. All of a sudden, we had the thunderstorms kind of developing north of I-70 on the Kansas side, and then start moving into the northeast portions of Kansas, getting ready to cross the state line into far northwest Missouri on into, looks like, in Nebraska. When you get to Kansas City metro area and anywhere from, well, let's say like Liberty, southward metro, and even farther south, rain-free at this time, but our chances of rainfall are definitely there for the overnight hours. Cloud scan also shows this. A lot of moisture feeding in. Earlier today, we had the thunderstorms that kind of moved across early this morning. We'll take you back to about that time. See the stronger thunderstorms down around southwest Missouri. All of a sudden, they quickly moved out. It was very quiet for us, and all of a sudden, we get the return of more thunderstorm activity as moisture continues to try to work its way northward. We draw it out for you with a severe thunderstorm watch box right over Kansas City and most of northern Missouri. This is until 3 o'clock. Like we talked about earlier, the main threat is hail. Heavy downpours and maybe some hail associated with some of these thunderstorms. We're not expecting tornadoes from this overnight. However, that kind of gives you a good indication, especially how strong some of these storms could be. It's going to be unsettled for the next couple of days as warmer air, this is the leading edge of it, tries to work its way back toward Kansas City. Anytime you get a contrast of the cooler air and the warmer air, we're right in the middle. That's why we have the chance of thunderstorms and rain showers. What are the chances? Very likely for early tomorrow morning. They drop off by midday and then shoot back up by tomorrow night. So we're really not in the clear, at least for the next couple of days. So 60 for the overnight, a few rumbles, and then by tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms again, a high tomorrow around 75. On the 5-day trend, it looks a little better. If you get through Tuesday and early Wednesday, things start to clear out. And look what happens just in time for Thursday. Beautiful sunny conditions and A nice night to maybe go to a concert at Starlight Theater. Why would I say Starlight Theater? What do you think, Maria?
Mention that tickets flying around that.
What is that?
Sad word of a guy named Donny Osmond.
Yeah. Got the new CD out. It's really good.
Yep.
Donny has requested KMBC Channel 9, so he's going to be here sometime this week.
Cool, yeah.
To pay a visit to us and do some interviews and things.
You know, you may like his music, you may not like his music, but I met him once for an interview.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, he is
real nice.
very
You
nice
have his new CD,
I
too.
do have his new CD, and she's right. He came here about a year or two ago, and he was great. Very nice.
So we're excited. My wife and I are going.
Enjoy.
All right. Thanks, Pete.
Well, some area couples are remembering the big day when they said, I do.
Coming up here, one couple as they relive that special day.
And they're the hometown team, so, you know, you want to think of something good to say, but I'll tell you what, it's getting hard.
Maybe Donny Osmond can pitch. He apparently can do everything else.
Should we try him out?
Maybe he can hit, maybe he can pitch, maybe he looks good in white and blue. Royal Sad Saga continues when we come back.
The other source. Stories here. 2020 Downtown returns.
I'm Jeremy Hubbard. Somebody made a great score on the golf course, but it had nothing to do with how well they hit. That story next. Your news starts now.
KMBC TV, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, vandals caused tens of thousands of dollars damage in Overland Park.
Their target, a country club and golf course, and it couldn't have happened at a worse. And continued in the southeast and eastern areas of the region. There was only minor damage reported and no injuries. Well, there have been flooding concerns throughout the metro these past few days. Are we finally in the clear? Brian has your 5-day forecast coming up.
And after 10 years, he's back on tour. Tonight, Donny Osmond stops by Channel 9 for a one-on-one interview. We'll tell you when and where you can see him in concert.
Plus, gas prices at an all-time high. You know you're paying more at the pump, but who's really profiting from your hard-earned money? We're going to show you where the cash is going next when KMBC 9 News at 10 continues.
From KMBC 9 News, Kansas City's news leader, Laura Moritz, Larry Moore, Chris Katz with live reports, meteorologist Brian Busby, and sports with Len Dawson. You're watching KMBC 9 News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Closed cap.
Personally, I think it's the friendly, attentive service that makes Green Mill so special. But that's just me.
Green Mill Restaurant and Bar. We bring great food to your table.
On our final page tonight, Donny Osmond made a stop at our Channel 9 studios this evening. He's in Kansas City on a tour stop. His new album is called This Is the Moment, featuring Broadway songs, and he'll be performing them tomorrow night at Starlight Theater. This is his first tour in 10 years, and Donny says it's much different than performing on Broadway.
It's a personable kind of show. If we feel like opening up something a little bit more, we can do it. Whereas with a musical, Andrew Lloyd Webber writes it a certain way, and that's the way it should be done. I love the discipline of that when you're involved in that. But there's nothing like going out there live in concert and singing your music.
This is the first leg of his world tour. Tomorrow night's concert at Starlight Theater starts at 8 o'clock. Tickets are still available. Great to have Donny Osmond here tonight. He met with our Dream Factory board, and they had a great time meeting him.
And I saw
tonight.
they slipped him some pizza, too. They were very friendly.
So wondering, does he need a drummer for tomorrow night?
Oh, there you go.
There you go. It should be dry tomorrow night. Cross fingers.
Yes.
We'll see.
We
We'll have
hope.
to wait and see. It's certainly going to be muggy before then, and warm. 66 in fog in the morning, 81 in the afternoon, maybe a stray shower in the evening, but otherwise 59 overnight. Bit stuffy.
Warm we like, muggy no. Take what we can get. That's our news for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Seinfeld is next, followed by Cheers.
Don't forget First News tomorrow morning at 5. We'll all see you again tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You can reach us on the web at thekansascitychannel.com.
From KMBC 9 News, Kansas City's news leader, Natalie Moultrie, Jim Flink, and weather with Joel Nichols. You're watching KMBC 9 First News, coverage you can count on.
A little girl murdered weeks ago, and no one knows her name. This morning, the case gets more national exposure.
Also, vandals tear up a local country club right before its annual golf outing. We're going to tell you what happened.
And that morning cup of Java does more than just wake up your eyes. It may have a permanent positive impact on your brain. We'll explain that coming up to you.
So, drink up, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Good
Give
morning.
it more.
Trying this again Thursday, June the 7th. Thanks for waking up with First News.
I'll
Gonna
take
try
a
this
cup.
again.
I need some.
Okay.
I know. Hopefully you make it through all the way today.
Made a half an hour yesterday. Let's see if we can make an hour.
Go an hour. It's going to be an easy...
What are his lucky potatoes? Joel's laughing, so maybe he knows. Well, Bob started selling potatoes out of a battered suitcase on the streets of New York. The potatoes are sprinkled with lucky water from his grandmother's well in Pennsylvania. Bob has presented his potatoes to former President Reagan and the Washington Redskins, who went on to win the Super Bowl. Bob will sell potatoes today at the corner of Grand and Pershing starting at noon. Afterwards, he will give a lucky potato to the Royals at the stadium.
Hey.
I don't know. Don't do
use
that. They won yesterday.
Don't
need to
you
do
like
that.
Joel? She's like, lucky.
No, like she doesn't believe in lucky wine.
Exactly.
Lucky potatoes?
Donny Osmond made a stop at the Channel 9 studios last night. He's in Kansas City on a tour stop, and his new album is called This Is the Moment. It features Broadway songs, and he'll be performing them tonight at Starlight Theater. Now, this is his first tour in 10 years, and Donny says there's a special song on his album that will premiere tonight.
I called up Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I said, this is the album I'm doing. Phil Ramone is producing it. And we've garnered a great relationship over the 10 years, and I'm going to put it to the test now. He said, what? He says, I want a song from you that nobody else has ever recorded. And he said, okay, you got it. It's a song from his new play called The Beautiful Game, which is now opened up in London. And I'm going to premiere it here in Kansas City.
Hey, this is the first leg of his world tour. Tonight's concert at Starlight begins at 8 o'clock, and we'll be giving away some tickets this morning at 6:30, so stick around for that, and you can see Donny Osmond tonight.
I have a story about Donny, too.
Okay,
I'll tell you later.
All right.
Well, sunset safaris are coming to the Kansas City Zoo today. The zoo will now stay open until 8:30 on Thursday.
On the season, by the way, for Sweeney, 12-6, a win. Jeff Suppan putting in a good outing. Very, very nice. 105 first pitch today.
They can do it. They have it in them.
That's
they can
it.
do it. Keep it up. All right, coming up, we're giving away tickets to a Starlight concert tonight. Donny Osmond in town. Your chance to win coming up.
Also, as we take a look at today's top stories, we're going to find out what Timothy McVeigh's lawyers are planning on doing to delay Monday's execution.
Test and develop new products. Kosnick says that also talked about the upcoming ski season and her hopes for the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. Well, the man, or the guy, I guess, who had teenage girls swooning in the 70s is in Kansas City. I was thinking he was a teenager back then when he was...
Donny Osmond, who we're talking about. He made a stop at the Channel 9 studios, and his new album is called This Is the Moment. It features Broadway songs. This is his first tour in 10 years. Donny says there's a special song on this album that will premiere tonight at Starlight.
I called up Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I said, this is the album I'm doing. Phil Ramone is producing it. And we've garnered a great relationship over the 10 years, and I'm going to put it to the test now. He said, what? He says, I want a song from you that nobody else has ever recorded. And he said, okay, you got it. It's a song from his new play called The Beautiful Game, which is now opened up in London. And I'm going to premiere it here in Kansas City.
The first leg of Donny's world tour, tonight's concert, Starlight Theater, starts at 8 o'clock.
And we want to send you there. We have 2 tickets to give away along with a copy of his new CD. All you have to do right now is be the 9th caller, 816-760-9376, and you get those tickets and the CD and have fun tonight.
Now let's hear your Donny Osmond story.
Okay, one of the very first live shots I ever had to do in Panama City, Florida was with Donny Osmond. And he was just coming back out then, you know, after his comeback. And we were doing a live shot, and he gave me rabbit ears on live TV and totally flustered me. Yeah. Because I was, you know,
and she's
excited.
still wearing them today.
Yeah, thanks to you.
Wow.
Yeah, but so that was neat.
Did you get a chance to see him when he was here yesterday?
No.
Because you could have snuck up behind him.
And you got him back, right? Yeah.
That's it.
It is going to be a beautiful night. If you're heading to Starlight tonight, perfect weather for that. Going out to Kauffman Stadium, perfect weather for that. A few little showers tried to pop up this morning. We'll show you a live pinpoint Doppler 9 radar, not amounting to much. For some folks, because water coming from the clouds we definitely do not need. We do have the humidity still left over because we got anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain in the last couple of days. The good news is maybe this drier pattern will stay for the weekend, and we'll have your lakes forecast coming up in First Alert Weather.
The cow on parade, this one, oh so patriotic, called the American Royal from Asher Johnson of Kansas City, Missouri. 83 was our high, 66 our low, 81 and 61 the normals. And we may be closing in on the 90s in the 5-day trend that we'll talk about in our next segment.
Thank you, Brian. Well, take off your sunglasses and get ready to enjoy the sunset safaris at the Kansas City Zoo. We'll tell you when you can see your favorite animals during the evening.
And they plunged to earth from 5,000 feet. Their parachutes tangled together. Remarkably, they lived to tell about it. We'll hear from them both later.
Plus, President Bush signs a tax cut plan into law. What does it mean for you and your pocketbook? We'll break it down for you next when KMBC 9 News at 10 continues.
From KMBC 9 News, Kansas City's news leader, Laura Moritz, Larry Moore, Chris Katz with live reports, meteorologist Brian Busby, and sports with Len Dawson. You're watching KMBC 9 News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Well, a nice night for that tonight.
Perfect.
Yep, humidity's starting to lower. Those things look so freaky.
They do, don't they?
I've seen
White
them,
alligators, yeah.
On camera, I hate to see them in person.
In person, they're just as freaky.
Okay, there you go. And our weather tomorrow, just as humid as we had today. A little warmer than you would expect this time of year. Fog in the morning, 64. 83 in the afternoon, 65 tomorrow night, but at least no rain. Summer's here.
Thank you, sir. And we thank you for joining us tonight. Seinfeld is next. Cheers after that.
And don't forget First News tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Good night. We leave you now with Donny Osmond performing Broadway hits at Starlight Theater. Good night.
So you heard that I'm a rebel with a heart made of stone. I got a restless spirit that nobody can know. If a picture tells a story, won't you listen to mine? I'm searching for the answer, but it's so hard to find. You'll see much deeper when you read between the lines. 'Cause there's a fire burning in my eyes. Woo! Who can't get enough? I am willing to fight, 'cause I'm a soldier of love.